New territory for Marcelo Bielsa, the first time in his distinguished and long managerial career that a team of his has conceded 7 goals.
That surprises me because I think that they play so open. You know, the teams he's been at against good sides, that they could be on the end of that plenty of times. As I see them take hefty defeats in the past, not obviously more than 7, but they won't be playing Man City every week. And he does send them out with a lot of confidence to go toe-to-toe. They went 1v1 all over the pitch against Man City. You know, we know they got away with it last year, but today they didn't get away with it. I just think it's obvious today how much Man City miss a centre-forward, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 17 different goal scorers in all competitions this season. OK, so Manchester City 7. Leeds 0. Don't forget, of course, we lost Brentford, Manchester United tonight because of the COVID issues in the Manchester United camp. And Steven Gerrard has won again, back to winning ways. Dean Smith losing against his former club. 2-0 Villa have won at Carrow Road. We have 4 games to bring you tomorrow, including 4th place West Ham away at Arsenal. The big news of today, of course, where Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been stripped of the club captaincy. And then 3 more on Thursday, because it's over now to 3rd place Chelsea and 2nd place Liverpool against Everton and Newcastle respectively to close the gap on Manchester City.
You've waited a while and that was a kind of perfect game to come back and start in.
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot happening this year, but a little bit out of my control, so the only thing I can do is try to work hard and come back as quick as possible. You know, it's unfortunate with everything that happened, and at the time I was coming back in a good rhythm. I got COVID, so it happened, and yeah, now we're working hard to come back in a good level.
Yeah, and you showed that tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, but I think we played incredible well, especially the way they press. I think we found the right time to attack them, and obviously when it's 3-4-0 up, it gets tougher for them, and they try to keep it a little bit more tight in the second half, but I think we had enough chances to score a lot more.
Yeah, you obviously got 2 yourself. Could have had 1 or 2 more. You were definitely aiming for the top corner towards the end.
I was trying. It was the last minute, obviously. So, well, I think it's good for everybody. You know, a lot of people who maybe didn't play a lot played today, chipped in. So I think for the whole team, it's a booster.
And in fact, at times you looked against a team that works very hard, like you had maybe an extra player, maybe 2 at times.
Yeah, because I think we found the right time. You know, I think we were very patient in the beginning, and then the right times we found the gaps to go forward, and then we punished them, and you know, then it makes the game incredible tough for them afterwards.
Helps the goal difference, doesn't it? A big win. It takes you very close to Liverpool's.
Yeah, but I think now for the moment we just have to maintain the good level and try to win game by game. Obviously it helps, but that is something that can help in the end of the year. At the moment, it's not something that we should think about. No,
but I guess you've had a little chance to watch from the outside, watch the team play and also the rivals play. It looks like a good race this year.
Yeah, it's a hell of a competition, but even outside the top 3, it's very hard to win every game. And you saw a lot of games like Wolves, West Ham, where you win with 1 goal difference, and it's still going to be a hell of a race this year. And but we're trying to be there, so that's the only thing we can do.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
It's great for the Premier League to have him back. I mean, when he's in that kind of form, both he and the team.
Yeah, he was brilliant tonight, and he said how difficult it's been coming back from his injury and his absence, and it was like he had not a point to prove, but he was just like, right, I'm back. And the second goal was just unstoppable, even though it was kind of in the middle of the goal, which we're going to see, but he had so much pace on it, and his movements, his game intelligence, and like I said at the start of the show, that they've missed him in terms of his creativity. You know, they're scoring goals, but they've scored 7 today, and how influential he's been throughout the game. He's been well missed, and I've missed watching him play, actually.
Yeah, and you can hear what it's like inside that City dressing room. He's actually annoyed they only got 7.
Well, they certainly didn't take all their chances. They created 31 attempts on goal. I mean, they were just queuing up, but they have to work hard to earn the right. And like he says, in the first half, the job's done. I always watch Pep. He celebrates at 1 and 2s, but he knows the game's never over, especially in the Premier League. When that 3rd goal goes in, it's almost like seals the deal. You know exactly what it is, and the celebration from him on the third goal just tells you the job's done. But he's still being tense in that dressing room. Yes, he's give players a rest. Bernardo Silva, Diaz comes off. He gives the other guys some game time just in case he needs them. It was a perfect evening for Man City today.
And what would Chelsea and Liverpool make of that scoreline, do you think, watching on?
I don't think they'll be making too much of it. I think everyone is just going to stay in their lane and just concentrate on what they've got ahead. I think Kevin De Bruyne is right. Maybe the goal difference will matter further on, maybe. But
some leap, though, isn't it, from 9 to 2 in one game?
Yeah, it is incredible. But I think it's game by game, and the head-to-heads like we spoke about at the start of the show. I think Kevin De Bruyne is realistic in that. It's about when they play each other.
I think but you're right. Can't underestimate that goal difference. It could go down to that this year. It is that tight, no one's letting anyone get away. It's up to them now. They can sit back next 2 nights, they can put their feet up and watch the rivals play and hope for the best. And I'm sure they're going to come and much tougher opposition than what they did tonight. But you still have to do your job. Like we say, 4 points last season, Leeds took off them. Never, ever looked like winning tonight.
Let's look back at the ones they did finish off then. Out of all those chances, 31 created. It seems a long time ago, 8 minutes in, when Phil Foden, back in the team, scored the first, Karen.
Yeah, look, he was brilliant in that false 9 today, and Rodri that's breaking through is your deepest midfielder, really, in defensive midfield, but finds himself up there. And what I really liked about the midfield was they were constantly running off the back shoulders. There's Kevin De Bruyne getting in behind, opens the space up for Phil Foden, and then there's your defensive midfielder, Rodri, getting in advance. There was constant rotation. That's why it's so difficult when you're playing 1v1. And then Foden, who started it, comes up, second phase, and puts it in. Could have defended it better, I think, at times. Leeds, and Dallas maybe at the end could have got there and kept that off the line. But look, the whole build-up plays is all about Manchester City and how they rotate. And like I said, Leeds play man for man, and they just completely exploited that.
Yeah, that set the tone very early on. We took Grealish, his first headed goal for 2.5 years. It's only his second Manchester City Premier League goal.
Yeah, interesting the Pep's put him there. I've done a job on the goalkeeper there, trying to keep him at bay. But then I like the movement for Jack here. Gets himself back on side, and then he slips across Ayling there, and it's a good header. The timing of the head is very, very good. You see Jack here, he's doing a job for the side there, trying to keep Medina in, and then he realises he's going to go to Riyad Mahrez on that wand of a left foot, and he gets himself back on side. Then he goes right across the defender, Ayling, and it's a good header. See it from this angle, the power what he puts on that. Sometimes you see that coming off the shoulder of the strikers, but he nearly scored at the weekend with a header, and that one he made no mistake with, and it flew past Melanie.
What about all-round from him tonight?
I thought he was tidy. I really did. It was really important he gets the numbers. You imagine they scored 7 tonight and he never got any, he doesn't get 1. Pressure then mounts, even though he had a good game. I don't think anyone played bad in a Man City shirt, though. It'd be very difficult to play bad. Even you would have played there well tonight, Steve.
5 knee operations later, yeah. Kevin De Bruyne, we just heard from him. 2 goals for him tonight on his return as well. And as Tim says, this is one that sealed the deal, even at half-time, Karen.
Yeah, again, he just ran off the back shoulder. See, he runs before even the setback from, I think it was a Foden, and the passing behind. But if you just watch him in the top corner now, he's already on his bike. We were talking about how they suck players on, and they were really brave in that, and they just passed through it, got the numbers they have behind the ball, and then they just let the front players go and express himself. But see Kevin De Bruyne highlighted, he's already going. Look, before that setback's on, he's thinking, I'm losing my player, can't catch me, I'm too quick, and then it's a brilliant finish. I know, Tim, you were saying the keeper could have done better, but I personally think it's a brilliant finish.
Yeah, I think it was a bit harsh. When you see it from that angle, he whizzes it, doesn't he? I mean, the pace what he puts on his left foot, he just steers it into that near post, knows exactly where it's going. Melanie, he's halfway on his way down, it just flies behind him. I mean, them strikes today, some of them were so pure, and the goalkeeper doesn't have time to even react and get his arms up. They're already behind him.
We talked about damage limitation might be the subject in the Leeds dressing room at half-time.
I couldn't see it, Steve. I don't think he ever goes out with that way of playing. Perhaps in hindsight, he wouldn't even look at that.
I was going to say, should he have?
No, I don't think he does. Because you know what he wants to keep? He wants to have a look. He made changes, brought some young kids on. He's looking towards the next one. He'd be saying to him in there, that wasn't good enough. We made mistakes, but they're very good. We're not going to play Man City and Chelsea's and Liverpool's every single week. So he keeps them with the same formation, the same way of playing, the same identity. So when they do come up with the teams in the mid to lower end of the division, they'll win enough games to stay in the league. I like that approach. It's definitely fantastic to watch. It's entertaining because a lot of teams go there, they just put bodies behind the ball and they try to play anti-football, and they end up getting beat anyway. At least we got entertained tonight and the people sitting at home.
Didn't take long in the second half, though, for normal service to be resumed, did it?
No, again, just right at it. I think it was good to see Grealish linking up, and they just sucked them all across, didn't they? And it's just too easy, and I think, see here, he just doesn't get tight enough. We'll play it from this angle again, but they're losing their battles, but good from Grealish. He commits players on, misses the tackle, picks out. I mean, look, he's spare there, isn't he, Gundogan? And then goes out here. This is where I think the defender has got to get tighter. As soon as that makes that first touch, he's got to get out to Mahrez. As soon as he backs off and then Mahrez can get into the penalty area, he's in complete control. So Mahrez knows he's backing off, and any attacker's thinking, I've got the upper hand on you in that. And it takes a deflection off him because he doesn't get tight. And then the goalkeeper has got no chance.
Yep, 100th Premier League appearance for Manchester City, marked with a goal for Riyad Mahrez. Then came Kevin De Bruyne's second, City's fifth. Special strike?
Yeah, special strike. I thought it was unlucky to build up. I thought that was a high boot there from Jack Grealish, and then Gundogan just finds a spare man again, takes it a touch out of his foot and bashed. Look at the goalkeeper there. I don't know why he dives. Embarrassing to look at him dive. But you see what's Jack's boot here. I know it's not a tight game and it didn't really matter in the end, but that's high, his boot. But Gundogan just got wing mirrors on, knows exactly where everyone is on the pitch, and he smashes that. Look at the goalkeeper. Look, it's already behind you, mate. Wow, fantastic. Clean as you like. Fantastic strike.
Yeah, I think you're right. The ball's in the back of the net before he dived, didn't he? It's that quick.
Yeah, he saved it on the way out, nearly. Nearly. He nearly hit him on the head.
Then the defenders got involved. John Stones, with his weaker foot eventually.
Yeah, it is. I think sometimes when you hit it with your strong foot, you don't concentrate as much, and with your weaker foot, you have to be more patient with it. But again, from wide areas, I mean, the marking is shocking from Leeds. There's your three centre-backs all up off the set play, and it's just a rebound. But look at the three centre-backs there. John Stone gets across the near post. OK, he doesn't get it, but look, he's sharp then. He's the first to react, second to react, and then it's a real clean hit with his left foot there. That's the one you scuff with your good foot, and now you have to really concentrate hard on your weak foot, and that's why he gets a better connection. Anyone watching John Stones for the first time there was think he was left-footed. You know, he's put himself in the area to score goals. He scuffs the first one, and the second one's like a rocket. Like, Karen's absolutely right. The concentration was on the strike there, and unstoppable, really.
What about Ake's seventh for the defending again?
Yeah, the defending's poor on a lot of them. We can pull them apart. We just got... I mean, he just jumps. I mean, it's the movement here. Look, he's unmarked. Look, he spins from the front post. Just spins round. Did anyone think about going with him? All right, Stones blocks off Rafinha there. Looks like he's really blocked off. Bit naive defending. But the header, I mean, just clear it off the line. I mean, it's a very, very poor, but great for... I mean, everything worked perfectly for Pep. I mean, he's bringing people off of the bench there, and they're scoring goals. They all feel part of it now. They go into training, they all like they're part of this runaway train like Man City are at the moment. I mean, it's just incredible. The football, what they're playing, and they're being clinical as well at the end of it, and they're keeping clean sheets. I mean, that was really important. When Diaz come off, I thought, has anyone really got that determination to keep this clean sheet? Because sometimes I think the goalkeeper gets bored, Edison. I mean, he was certainly bored there tonight, but they kept on it. And the clean sheet will really please him, and it certainly pleased Diaz, the player who come off.
I agree, but I think Kevin De Bruyne was instrumental in that. You know, you heard in his interview that it is about keeping clean sheets, but you keep the ball, it means that you protect your back line. And I think when the attacking players are like, right, I can sense a 5, a 6, a 7, I can get a goal, I can get an assist, I can get some confidence back. I think that protects the back line as well, and it just gives constant energy throughout the whole side. But you're right, it's a perfect evening, wasn't it? Sending a message to everybody else. Yeah. You're going to use some of these players in the next couple of weeks just to refresh and keep everyone tidy and fit and healthy. 90 minutes again for De Bruyne, which is really, really key. Different goal scorers.
Resting your main men.
Exactly, yeah. And Diaz get off, and it's just
Sterling
brilliant.
Doesn't even have to come off the bench.
No. Yeah.
I mean, he'd be disappointed with that, Raheem, because we talked about him smelling goals. He'll certainly smelt them tonight.
Yeah. And they just keep on breaking records, don't they, this team? I mentioned as well, 27 times under Pep Guardiola in the Premier League. They've now scored 5 goals or more. They've now set a new Premier League record for most wins in a calendar year. They've beaten Jose Mourinho's 05 Chelsea teams. They've won 33 times in the Premier League in this calendar year.
Scary. I mean, but then again, I'm thinking, I can't wait for the head-to-heads. I mean, I really can't wait for Liverpool to play them, and I think head-to-head, I think they'd beat Chelsea, Man City. I just think they've got that, but the big one for me is the Liverpool game. But that's a phenomenal record, and you can see from tonight why they've got it.
And this is where it leaves Leeds. 5 points above the drop zone. As you can see, Burnley have 2 games in hand on them, and Watford 1 as well. I know it's Arsenal at home next, incidentally, for Leeds on Saturday at Ellen Road. I know what you're saying, Tim, about the neutral and being entertained, and it's not his way.
Yeah.
But you heard his explanation that they prepared for it. I mean, how damaging could conceding 7 be to that group? 3 at Chelsea, albeit a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it's not good. I could tell you, hefty defeats just does affect the mood around the dressing room and the training ground, certainly building up to that game. But the games come thick and fast around Christmas, so it's easy to put a defeat behind you. But it can fester if you don't get you a positive result. They're missing personnel. You know, Bamford is missing, picked up a hamstring. Calvin Phillips looks like he might miss 2 months. I mean, how big is that for Miss Cooper? They need back as soon as possible. They haven't got a lot of quality in depth. I think they're full of endeavour and willingness to run. Sometimes you need a little bit more than that. And he needs some cool heads, he needs some organised bodies, he needs some organisation, which he said that he had there. Didn't look organised tonight, they looked like they were all over the place. But Man City can do that to anyone. But it was a damning defeat, but there's still enough time, and they're not even in the bottom 3. I believe on the course of the whole season, there will be enough wins out there for them. I don't think they play for a draw. I think they play for maximum points, which takes you up the division. If you manage to win 3 draws, you know, the morale might stay high, but it still gets you might as well get beat 2 and win 1. You know, I think that they look for wins, and I think they'll get enough to stay in the division. I really hope they do, because the way they approach it.
OK, it's Arsenal, as I say, at home, and then their next away game on Boxing Day, Anfield, to face Liverpool. Right, Manchester City manager, here he is, Pep Guardiola.
The fact that they played just 2 days ago. But that's why I give credit to the victory, because I'm pretty sure every opponent knows what does it mean to play against Leeds. And yeah, just now rest and prepare Newcastle next Sunday.
It seems from the outside that so many of your individual players are somewhere near their best level. Do you agree?
But yeah, that's for sure. So when you get these results, it's because individually they are brilliant. So the idea always is there in different ways. So every manager, the team has his own idea, and if it works, it's because individually the players take part of that. So at the end, I didn't score 1 goal. My staff didn't score 1 goal. It depends on the quality of the players. Always have been like this. So
of course, but normally you
secrets.
watch and you think maybe 4 or 5 players are at their peak at one time. But at the moment, it seems like many of your players.
Yeah, I think Jack started really well the first 50-20 minutes. Later, they struggled a little bit to keep the ball for his mates. And Kevin, in this type of games, when we're open up and down, Kevin is devastated. So he can do whatever he wants. But in general, the team, I would say thank you to John Stones playing that position, and normally it's not his position, but how commitment he was there and how good he played. So, yeah, in general, all of us, they were in a good level.
Very little, if anything, for Pep Guardiola to complain about tonight.
I love how he just when Kevin can just do what he wants. Just does what he wants. But yeah, no complaints. I mean, it was just a perfect evening.
He sends a message out there to John Stones. Thank you for playing. I mean, thank you for letting me play in your team. That's what he should be saying. That all of them players, I mean, it's like every day's a school day, isn't it? If you're a player at Man City, he's teaching you every single day, and the results just keep coming. So he's so dominant, the guy. You know, when he speaks there, I mean, he's small in stature, but he's just a giant when he walks into the room, and the aura of what the man has when he stands next to you, because you know that he's a genius of his craft. I mean, he's always turning the page over. You know, when other managers we've seen stand still, and we've got a lot in the Premier League are a little bit stale now, this guy just keeps reinventing himself. yes, he's got the tools to work with, but he keeps them sharp in their minds because he little tweaks all of the time. And I go back to it, in-house competition at the club is keeping everyone on their toes, and that is why the level of performance is always at a maximum.
Couldn't agree anymore. Chopping, changing, rotating, but still getting the same results, and just going from strength to strength. And you look at the fixtures that they've got coming up, you'd be confident that they get results out of them as well.
7 league wins in a row. They've got real momentum as well, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's just the confidence within the group. And like we said, the players that came in that haven't really featured that much, coming in, getting good performances, scoring, resting players. It's been brilliant, and that momentum will keep going for them.